Now, Shams, why did Chris Paul decide to return here to the Los Angeles Clippers?
Malika, Chris Paul wanted to stay near his family in Los Angeles this upcoming season, and the Clippers needed another reserve guard. They needed someone at the point guard position coming off the bench, so it made it a perfect match, a perfect reunion. And multiple suitors such as Milwaukee, Dallas, Charlotte all expressed interest in Chris Paul over the last few weeks, but now the ability to join a contender in LA, the history, shared history that these two sides have together, 5 All-Star appearances, 5 All-NBA teams, a franchise record with the Clippers in 6 years that he had spent there prior, and he really wanted to see, can he return back to the Clippers? And this is a team full of veteran players. It's a deep team. I'm told Chris Paul very much understands his role could fluctuate night to night. He might not play on some nights, but the ability to start, come off the bench, and be a plug-and-play player, this is someone that could have a pretty impactful role coming off that Clippers bench.
Yeah, Shams, I know his role may look a little bit different, but I'm a sucker for the nostalgia. I love seeing already the clips that have been circulating around the internet of those Lob City Clippers, and the thought that we're going to get to see a new version of that once again. But this time it's going to be Chris's 21st season in the NBA. Do you have any reporting to suggest that we should be thinking about this as his last hurrah?
Malika, I'm told Chris Paul is expected to retire after this season. He's going to go through training camp, go through the season like he always does, see how it goes. But his plan is for this to be his final season. He told the Pat McAfee show a month ago that he wanted to be back near his family. Now he's back in Los Angeles. He got to do just that for a potential storybook finish to a 21-year illustrious Hall of Fame career.
And it's so good to see him back in a Clippers uniform. That's going to be a treat for all of us fans. Shams, thank you so much. We're going to be talking to you again a little bit later in the show. It's hard to fathom that this could be the last run, as Shams is saying, because he went for nearly 9.7 assists per game as the Spurs veteran leader. And this is what gets me. He started in all 82 games last season. It was just the second time he's done that in his career. He also did that in 2014-15 when he ranked 6th in MVP voting. And who was he playing for? The Los Angeles Clippers, of course. As we say hello to our friends Brian Windhorst, Kendrick Perkins, Bobby Marks. It's always good to have you in studio, my friend. Brian, I am going to start with you here and talk about the fit. We're looking at an incredibly deep, if not a little bit of an older Los Angeles Clippers team. How do you see CP3 slotting in here?
Well, this was a great value signing for the Clippers. They get a first ballot Hall of Famer, really for a bargain basement contract, because he was prioritizing staying home in Los Angeles ahead of playing time and role. He could have gone to Milwaukee, as Shams mentioned, and gotten more guaranteed playing time. That's not going to be the case here. From what I understand, he's not going to have guaranteed playing time. There are going to be nights where James Harden and their backup Chris Dunn get the minutes at point guard, and Chris Paul might not play at all, which is something you've never seen from him before. He has understood that. He understands that he is going to be in that spot that he hasn't. He wants to be on a competitive team in the market he wants to play in near his family. And, look, there had to be an understanding with James Harden. He and James Harden didn't have the greatest relationship when they were in Houston a few years ago, but Harden is on board with this signing. They went to him with it first. He understands that he played the 5th most minutes in the league last year, and anything the Clippers can do to support and protect him is welcomed, and that's what this move is.
Okay, you said a whole lot of important stuff right there, Brian. And in fact, I'm most interested, Perk, in the thought that a guy who started in 82 games last season is okay with his role now be coming off of the bench. Do you think from a basketball perspective, because for his family, I am so very happy for Jada and the whole crew that Chris Paul is closer to home here. From a basketball perspective, is this the right fit for his final season?
Congratulations to Steve Ballmer and the Los Angeles Clippers. They have officially become the nursing home for the NBA for the players that are on the back end of their career. No, I'm serious, because if we think that this is about to move the needle for the Clippers as far as being a competitor, not just a title contender, but competing in the tough Western Conference, it's not. And I get it. Chris Paul, he brings great value, whether he's playing or whether he's on the bench being an extension of Ty Lue. But when I look at their roster, I look at a guy like Dunn. Yes, he's a guy that could defend at a high level, but the Clippers look old. And they still, to me, have a problem at that wing position when it comes down to depth from guys that can compete and play at a high level on the defensive side of things. offensively, they got enough to put up points. They're going to have a good regular season. But when it comes down to them competing in the Western Conference, especially when they get postseason time, can they compete with the likes of a Houston, OKC, Denver, even the Lakers now? I just don't see it.
Look, I mean, this team, it goes as Kawhi Leonard goes, right? Ultimately, how healthy is Kawhi Leonard? That is going to dictate what the Los Angeles Clippers are able to do. Because if we were talking about 2017 and looking at all of these guys on this roster, this would be a formidable group. But this is a little bit of an older group that we're looking at now. Bobby, can you just show us what this rotation could look like for the Los Angeles Clippers? Because I'm a little more intrigued than Perk is, I think.
Well, it's certainly deep here, Malik, and this is with John Collins and Bradley Beal. It's bigger when you have Collins and Ivica Zubac together. I think the most important thing is to focus on this column here. When you look at all the Chris Paul, certainly Chris Dunn, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nick Batum, Derek Jones Jr., Brook Lopez. Here's the one thing with the Clips that's interesting. I'm going to contradict Perk a little bit here. Age is just a number, right? It's just a number. Yes, they are the most seasoned, I won't call them older team. 8 players, 30 years or older. Now, here's the one thing. This is for better or for worse right here. Their bench, the players that we just mentioned, 287 games started. So it's a good problem, but it could also be a bad problem because if you're looking at Ty Lue,
right,
how do you balance minutes, right? That's going to be the most important thing. I think it's the most, this is going to be probably the most challenging for Ty Lue,
right,
because it's going to have to be buy-in.
Right.
Everybody's going to have to buy in, especially for that bench that they have a lot of starters.
When you're looking at a group, we'll call it seasoned, a seasoned roster. You don't want anyone to get over-salted and become salty. When you look at that many starters, you don't, starting minutes and starting games, there's going to be a lot of big personalities here to manage. But if anyone can do it, I do believe that it is Ty Lue. Perk, we were talking on our production call before the show, and you said that you had a grade for the Clippers offseason that you wanted to share with America. What is that and why?
Well, I would give them a C, to be honest with you, because, again, while other teams around the league, you're watching them because Oklahoma City has set the bar for us needing the youth. You're watching them, and they've added Bradley Beal, who over the last 4 or 5 years had played over 60 games one time in his career. So he has an injury history. We know what Kawhi Leonard has. I'm a huge fan of Big Zubac. We know what he could bring to the table. But James Harden has a history also of folding like clean sheets when it comes down to the postseason. So again, I get it. You get Bradley Beal at a bargain on a 2-year, $11 million deal, but we haven't seen the best version of Bradley Beal in quite some time. And I don't know if he could just turn it on, and I don't think others around the league care if he turn it on. And to be honest, if I had to give them would they rank in the state of California for as off seasons, or would they rank for as teams, I would have them third on the list behind the Lakers and Golden State right now.
Behind Golden State, who hasn't really done much of anything here, Brian?
They don't have to.
I think I might disagree.
It's July, man. I mean, what are we doing? They had what, about $17 or $18 million to spend, and they got Brook Lopez, Bradley Beal, and Chris Paul, 3 guys who were full-time Well, Bradley Beal lost his starting job for about 6 weeks, but were starters in the league last year that Bobby talked about. They're all going to be backups now, and they got them at discount prices. It's one thing to pay a starter's money to be a backup. It's another thing to pay a starter backup's money to be a backup. I agree, Perk. The Oklahoma City Thunder are not raising their eyebrows from their lounge chairs right now, but this team got better. I don't know where they would rank in the in California, because the Lakers did some similar things with their exception money, but I think the Clippers did a good job of building out their depth. And look, if they had given these guys in their mid to late 30s 2- and 3-year contracts, I would be a little concerned. They're all 1-year deals. They can opt out next year. Their salary cap is flexible. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the Clippers are going to go as far as a healthy Kawhi Leonard takes them. They need to support Kawhi Leonard and support James Harden, and that's what they've done with these signings.
I get it, Wendy, but we still have to start moving on, because we're living in the past of what those guys did in the past and not what they've been providing in the present. When you talk about the addition of a Brook Lopez, I get it, backup center, a guy that can stretch the floor, but he's also a guy that was getting cooked last year in the pick and roll in the drop coverage. He's not the best defender that he used to be. Same with a guy like Bradley Beal. Nicholas Batum is kind of old as hell, although he does come in and do a lot of the little things. I'm just looking at the direction of the direction of the league, and I'm looking at a team like the Houston Rockets who got great depth at the wing position along with youth, and I'm just looking at it. It's just not moving me what the Clippers are doing.
I'm thankful Perk wasn't my teacher at Marist College, because I would have never graded with that grade that he gave them as a C. I would say this, they did enough this offseason to keep themselves in contention as a top 8 team in the Western Conference. Not number 1, but certainly where Houston and Denver and Dallas and Minnesota, some of these other teams, they've done enough to keep themselves in the mix.
The thing that I keep coming back to is our friend Brian Windhorst, as I have bobblehead Brian Windhorst here to show you. I keep thinking of Brian Windhorst saying, value contracts, value contracts, value contracts, right? Like it's the value that you're getting these guys on. It's not like you're getting these guys on max deals anymore. And I do think we need to take that into consideration. Can I just tell you guys, though, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Chris Paul back in a Clippers uniform as a basketball fan. I'm kind of excited by the idea of seeing Damian Lillard, even a season away, back in a Portland Trailblazers uniform. The Denver Nuggets got good this offseason. The Clippers go in and they get a backup center in Brook Lopez. Like, this is what excites me, Bobby, as a basketball fan.
I wrote 8 teams down in the top. I can think we can make an argument for 8 teams right now, and that doesn't include San Antonio, New Orleans, Phoenix, teams like that.
And how many of those 8 are in the Western Conference?
Oh, no, these are all in the 8. These are my 8 Western Conference teams.
I was going to say, the top teams, the Western Conference is formidable. Still to come on NBA Today, we have a packed show here. The pregame statement that sent shockwaves through the WNBA. Our reporters have the latest on what the player demands are and where the current league CBA stands. Plus, a smart move by Marcus to head to Los Angeles. Shams is back to detail